When the body speaks what the mouth silences, you feel pain that doctors can't explain. Chronic fatigue, chest tightness, migraines, nausea, breathing crises, and all your tests come back normal. Maybe the problem isn't in your body, but in your soul, and Freud already knew this over 100 years ago. Before we dive in, subscribe if you want to understand your mind, explore what Freud uncovered. Like, share, and hit the bell. Your unconscious will thank you later. Picture this. You're at the doctor's office for the third time this month. Same mysterious symptoms. Same puzzled look on the doctor's face. Same conclusion. Everything looks normal, but you know something isn't normal. Your body is screaming, but nobody seems to hear it. Welcome to the world of somatization, where your emotions write letters. In the language of physical pain, Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, was one of the first to crack this code. While his colleagues were looking at bodies like broken machines, Freud was listening to what those bodies were trying to say. He discovered that sometimes, when our minds can't handle the truth, our bodies become the messengers. Today, we're going to explore how your headache might be heartache in disguise, how your stomach problems could be emotional indigestion, and why Freud believed that to heal the body, we first need to heal the soul. What is somatization? Let's start with the basics. What exactly is somatization? Imagine your mind as a pressure cooker. When emotions, anger, sadness, fear, trauma, have nowhere to go, they don't just disappear. They find another way out, and that way is often through your body. Somatization is when repressed or unspoken emotions transform into physical symptoms. It's like your unconscious mind is playing charades with your body, trying to communicate something your conscious mind refuses to acknowledge. Freud first noticed this phenomenon while treating patients with hysteria in the late 1800s. These were mostly women who came to him with dramatic physical symptoms, paralysis, blindness, seizures, that had no medical explanation. The medical establishment dismissed them as crazy or attention-seeking, but Freud saw something different. He called it conversion hysteria, the conversion of psychological conflict into physical symptoms. These women weren't faking it. Their pain was real, but its origin was in their minds, not their muscles. Think of it this way. If your emotions were people at a party, and your conscious mind was the bouncer who kept throwing them out, eventually they find the back door, and that back door is your body. Your unconscious doesn't speak in words, it speaks in symptoms. A migraine might be saying, I can't think about this anymore. A stomach ulcer might be whispering, this situation is eating me alive. Chronic back pain could be screaming, I can't carry this burden anymore. The role of the unconscious. Now, let's talk about the mastermind behind this whole operation, your unconscious mind. Freud discovered that our minds are like icebergs. What we're aware of, our conscious thoughts and feelings, is just the tip floating above water, but underneath, there's this massive, hidden part containing everything we pushed down, forgotten, or refused to face. Your unconscious is like a storage unit for everything your conscious mind couldn't handle. Childhood traumas you've forgotten, anger you're not allowed to feel, desires society says are wrong, losses you never properly grieved. But here's the thing about storage units, eventually they get full. And when there's no more room in the unconscious, these repressed contents start leaking into your body. Let me give you a modern example. Sarah works in a toxic job where she can't express her frustration. Culturally, she was raised to be nice, to never show anger, so every day she swallows her rage, pushes it down, tells herself it's not that bad, but her body keeps the score. She starts getting tension headaches, her jaw clenches at night, her shoulders carry the weight of unexpressed words. Her digestive system rebels against the daily dose of swallowed pride. Sarah's unconscious is trying to tell her something. You're angry. You have every right to be. But since her conscious mind won't listen, her body becomes the translator. Freud believed that symptoms aren't random, they're symbolic. The location, timing, and nature of physical symptoms often contain clues about the underlying emotional conflict. A person who can't stomach their job develops gastritis. Someone who feels unsupported develops chronic back pain. A person who can't breathe in their relationship develops asthma attacks. Your body is constantly writing you letters. The question is, are you reading them? Examples of psychosomatic symptoms. Let's get specific about how this shows up in real life, because chances are you've experienced some form of somatization yourself. Headaches and migraines, often linked to mental pressure, overthinking, or carrying emotional burdens. The head literally hurts from trying to process too much stress or unresolved conflict. Notice how your headaches coincide with stressful periods. Your brain is essentially saying, I'm overloaded. Digestive issues. Your gut is your second brain, packed with nerve endings. When you can't digest a situation emotionally, your stomach rebels, ulcers, irritable bowel syndrome, nausea. These often appear during times of emotional turmoil. You're literally having trouble processing your emotions. Chest pain and breathing problems when you feel suffocated by circumstances or relationships. When you can't breathe freely, your respiratory system might mirror that feeling. Panic, attacks, chronic cough without infection, or that constant feeling of not getting enough air. Your body is expressing what your words cannot. Skin conditions. Your skin is your boundary between inner and outer worlds. Rashes, eczema, or unexplained itching often appear when you feel under your skin about something. When your boundaries are being violated, or when you're uncomfortable in your own skin. Chronic fatigue. Sometimes exhaustion isn't about sleep. It's about soul tiredness. When you're emotionally drained from pretending everything's okay, from carrying everyone else's problems, from fighting battles you can't win, your body might just stop. Muscle tension and pain. Your muscles literally tense up when you're emotionally on guard. Chronic neck pain might be from carrying the weight of the world. Lower back pain could be from feeling unsupported. Jaw pain from biting your tongue too often. Here's a case that illustrates this perfectly. Maria developed severe back pain right after her divorce. Doctors found nothing wrong with her spine, but in therapy, she realized the pain started when she had to carry everything alone, financially, emotionally, practically. Her back was literally breaking under the symbolic weight of her new responsibilities. When she began addressing her fears about being alone and her anger about the divorce, guess what happened? The back pain gradually disappeared. This isn't placebo, effect, or mind over matter magic. This is your body finally being heard and understood. The Freudian solution. So what would Freud do about all this? How did he approach healing when the body speaks what the mouth silences? First, Freud understood something revolutionary for his time. You can't treat the body separately from the mind. He didn't just prescribe painkillers for mysterious headaches or stomach medications for unexplained nausea. He looked deeper. His solution was elegant in its simplicity. Make the unconscious conscious. Think of psychoanalysis as detective work. The symptoms are clues, and your job is to decode what they're trying to tell you. Freud's method was to create a safe space where patients could speak freely about anything and everything without judgment. Through techniques like free association, dream analysis, and simply talking, buried emotions and memories could surface when the real issue finally had words. When it could be acknowledged and processed consciously, the body often no longer needed to carry that message. It's like this. Imagine your unconscious has been sending you urgent emails, but they keep going to your spam folder. Your symptoms are like your unconscious calling your phone, sending texts, showing up at your door, desperately trying to get your attention. Psychoanalysis is like finally checking your spam folder and responding to those emails. Here's what Freud's approach might look like in practice. Listen to your body's language. Start paying attention to when symptoms appear. What was happening emotionally when your back started hurting? What relationship stress preceded your digestive issues? Your body's timing is rarely random. Give voice to the voiceless. Write, talk, cry, scream, whatever it takes to express what you've been holding in. Sometimes the act of acknowledgement alone can provide relief. Explore the symbolic. Ask yourself what your symptom might represent. If your throat is always sore, what aren't you saying? If your legs feel heavy, what journey are you avoiding? Seek professional help, just as Freud provided a space for his patients to speak freely. Therapy can offer you that same safe container to explore what your body is trying to communicate. Modern applications. Now, you might be thinking, this is all very interesting, but I live in 2025, not 1895. How does this apply to my life? The truth is, somatization is more relevant now than ever. We live in a world that values productivity over processing, achievement over authenticity, busyness over being. We're constantly told to push through, stay positive, don't dwell on it. But your body doesn't care about productivity culture. It cares about truth. In our hyper-connected, always-on world, we're exposed to more stress and emotional input than ever before. Social media comparison, work pressure, global anxiety, relationship complexity. We're processing more emotional data than our ancestors ever had to handle. And yet, we have fewer outlets for emotional expression. We don't have extended family systems, close-knit communities, or cultural rituals for processing grief and trauma. We're expected to handle everything internally, quietly, efficiently. Is it any wonder that anxiety disorders, depression, and mysterious physical symptoms are at an all-time high? Your smartphone doesn't just store your photos and messages, it stores your stress. Your laptop doesn't just contain your work, it contains your worries. Your body has become the repository for all the emotions you don't have time or space to process. But here's the empowering part. Once you understand this connection, you have more control than you think. You can start reading your body's messages instead of just medicating them away. Practical steps. So what can you do right now? How can you start listening to what your body is trying to tell you? Start a symptoms journal. Keep track of when physical symptoms appear and what's happening emotionally in your life. Look for patterns. You might be surprised by what you discover. Practice emotional check-ins several times a day. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Many of us are so disconnected from our emotions that we don't even know we're stressed until our body forces us to pay attention. Create expression outlets. Find ways to express emotions that don't involve your body doing it for you. Write angry letters you never send. Cry during movies. Punch pillows. Scream in your car. Give your emotions a voice before they need to speak through symptoms. Pay attention to your language. Notice the metaphors you use. This job is killing me. I can't stomach this situation. She's a pain in my neck. Your language often reveals the emotional reality your body is responding to. Consider therapy. Sometimes we need professional help to decode what our unconscious is trying to tell us. There's no shame in needing support to understand your own inner world. Remember, your symptoms aren't your enemy. They're your allies. They're trying to protect you, to get your attention, to guide you toward healing. Freud once said, the body expresses what the mind represses. Over a century later, this insight remains profoundly relevant. Your body is not separate from your mind. It's an extension of it. Every ache, every mysterious symptom, every unexplained pain might be carrying a message from the parts of yourself you've forgotten to listen to. The next time you have a symptom that doctors can't explain, instead of just asking, what's wrong with my body? Try asking, what is my body trying to tell me? Sometimes healing begins not with a prescription, but with permission to feel what you've been avoiding, to acknowledge what you've been denying, to speak what you've been silencing. Your body has been trying to have a conversation with you. Maybe it's time to listen. So, what do you think? Have you ever experienced mysterious symptoms that seem connected to your emotional state? What patterns have you noticed in your own body's way of communicating with you? Comment below. I read everything, and your story might help someone else understand their own body's language. And remember, in a world that often tells us to ignore our feelings, listening to your body is an act of radical self-care. Until next time, keep listening to what your unconscious is trying to tell you, because Freud would want you to hear every word.